I swear I'm traumatized.
Hey everybody, it's Charles with the Barbershop Group podcast. Glad to be back with you all today. And I've got Dr. Stephan Poulter, the author of The Shame Factor, Heal Your Deepest Fears and Set Yourself Free on today. Doc, how are you doing today?
Very well, Charles. Great to be with you in the group. Thank you.
Thank you for being here as always. So today, Doc, we're talking rage and shame. As you know, we've had some more traumatic events happen in America regarding men violence. And guys, later on, I'll have my own kind of monologue talking about addiction and violence and how they intersect. But for now, we're going to talk about it in a different way. So, Doc, you and I both are familiar with John Bradshaw, who did phenomenal work on shame. And he talked about compulsive and addictive behaviors and reenactments. So one of those reenactments or behaviors that we men get tagged with a lot is anger and rage, right?
Yes, right on, Charles.
And, anger, wouldn't you say that anger is an emotion that a lot of people feel at times?
Charles, it's a secondary emotion.
Got it.
We all feel it. If you don't feel anger, Charles, you're not alive.
I see. So it's normal to feel anger.
Correct. And Charles, the other thing with anger, I tell men particularly, what's under your anger?
Mm-hmm.
Don't get stuck there.
Yeah.
I don't mean to jump in, but Charles, anger, because untreated anger turns into rage.
Right. Okay, that's great. And what's the difference between anger and rage, Doc?
Rage, you act it out. Women internalize their anger. Men externalize. Because all the shootings, Charles, in this country, 99% are men.
Right.
It might be 100, but I'm telling you. Okay.
I don't know if I've seen
I haven't heard of any woman.
A mass shooting where it was a woman who did it.
I mean, now one woman may shoot her ex-husband, and I'm not being facetious.
Right.
That's not a mass murder. That's romantic homicide. But but Charles, rage, men that don't deal with their anger, it's like cancer. It keeps growing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And rage.
Okay. So when you say, you said it, cancer, it keeps growing. John Bradshaw, he said that he considered rage a type of addiction. Would you also say the same?
Absolutely. Because there's adrenaline that goes with that, and people love the high.
Got it. I see.
The endorphins, the cortisol, all that stuff gets going, Charles. And when I read that in John Bradshaw's book, the first one, I remember reading that and just going, that's really insightful.
Yeah.
Because we stay on the surface. Oh, he's just an angry guy. He's a rageaholic. No, he's addicted to that swing.
He's addicted to that swing. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, he's addicted. It's no different than drinking 12 beers Friday night. It's the same high organically.
Wow. Yeah. And that makes me think about, one of the more recent shootings that occurred in Colorado. As things are beginning to unfold and continue to unfold, they're talking about this young man, and a lot of people, either in his family or associates and friends, they speak about him as an individual who he didn't have, quote unquote, an anger problem. Right, because you have already debunked the idea of an anger problem, because we all have anger, but he had more of a rage problem.
Okay, and men that rage like this kid, Charles, it makes me crazy. What men didn't say, "Hey, dude, bring it in"? Right, you got to. That is curable, Charles. Rage is a deep, deep wound. As all addictions are a deep, deep wound to your heart and soul. And another thing with rage, Charles, men, we externalize it.
Okay.
And let me tell you, if you go in that boy's history, Charles, I'm telling you, under the age of 10, they had road markers where this kid was going. They had road markers.
They were able to recognize it.
Yeah. But like, we'll just kind of placate it. It's like spraying perfume on a pig. No, you still got the issue.
It's still going to be the issue there. Right. And so it makes me wonder why or what happens in families that are not able to recognize this rage characteristic developing in a young man.
Okay, Charles, I'm really going to get radical here. Because they want it.
Wow. They want it. How does a family want the rage, Doc?
Like this bottle of water, he
Uh-huh.
holds all the anger for the family. They call him the emotional container.
Wow.
This is like after World War II, Minutia and all these family therapist guys, they're saying there's one
Mm-hmm.
kid in the family, the
Mm-hmm.
angriest kid in the family, many times is the most emotional because he holds all the emotional water for the family
Good grief.
that they don't want to hold.
Really? Okay, so let me go backward a
Yeah,
little bit. In
yeah,
my time working in one particular residential treatment environment, and I think about, once you get the child to a certain point in the therapeutic process and they're developing, right?
I know where you're going. Yeah.
You bring in the family and you
Hmm.
look at the family, and every now and then you see a family and you go, whoa, what? Wait, this kid and the family, and they look like they are worlds apart from each other. You can meet mom and or dad and brother and sister, and they're real calm and docile and everything. And then you've got little Johnny over there who is just tearing shit up.
Yeah,
Right. And
because
you wonder, where did that come from?
mom and dad aren't draining this. He is. He's drinking it, not them.
Uh-huh.
So they blame him. They call it the identified patient, Charles.
Yeah.
And that's what Bradshaw talked about, these reenactments.
Yes.
Johnny's acting out all the family's emotions and unresolved issues
Mm.
and anger
And everybody likes it. He likes the feel of it,
because he's
right? But
empowered.
but what does the family like about it?
See, when the family gets
About
they get off the hook, Charles. They get to blame Johnny.
I see.
They get to finger point. And you and I both know, in any recovery, any healing, blaming somebody else always you're trying to buy airspace so you don't have to deal with it.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the primary gain. And the secondary gain, Johnny's messed up.
Mm.
He's identified patient. That's family
Mm-hmm.
therapy.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I hear about this kid, how he had rage problems. I'm like, I don't want to get we're not getting political. We're just saying families. Like, come on, someone's got to reel this
Mm-hmm.
kid in. Well, I'm scared of him. I tell him,
Right.
well, you created it. You got to be,
Yeah.
you created that.
Yeah. Because I was very shocked by the fact that, people were saying, hey, look, I saw him, take somebody's lights out in the parking lot one day. Another kid was like, yeah, man, if you said this to him, he would pop off. And someone else was like, you know what? I never really trusted him too well. He seemed like he was a nice guy until you said something that he didn't like. And then wham, I'm going, okay. And so, Doc, one of the things that I think the general public, and obviously you know better than I, that the general public doesn't do a lot of due diligence on is the addiction of emotions generally, right?
Charles, and the problem with that, I agree with you. If people just label it, well, that's an AA issue, or no, it's not. It's a human issue.
Yeah.
Because emotional
Right.
addictions, Charles, is widespread as there is water in our veins. Because
And
that
so,
high, Charles.
yeah, yeah. So for men, right?
Yeah.
For men, and this anger that turns to rage, we like the high of it and everything like that. We've established that. We think we can see that. Okay. What is it particularly that makes men act it out so prevalently in contradistinction to women?
Men, it's a sense of feeling empowered. It's a short-term solution to a long-term problem.
Okay.
It's a short-term act, Charles. It's like
Yeah.
eating a bag of chips when you're starved. 30 minutes later, you're hungrier. That's what rage does to men. It just leaves them in a worse place than they started. Women, Charles, that's why there's so many eating disorders, cancer, all these different issues with women.
Yeah.
Because they try to digest it and you can't digest it.
I understand. So
it kills you.
Let me ask you about rage, men acting out. I think maybe the listener, the viewer out there is maybe focused, or maybe we're guiding towards this idea that when men act out because of, this rageaholic addiction that is inside of them, this feeling that they like, they do it in a very violent way. But is there a way for a man to express that rage in a way that isn't necessarily violent, but is abusive.
Yes. Charles, behind every rageaholic, there's trauma.
Okay.
I've never met a guy who's out of control. When we start bringing it back down, something that happened under the age of 10 dramatically happened.
Okay.
I'm talking.
So that young. Got it.
Under 10.
Okay.
And when they feel that powerlessness again, Charles, they hit the 911 button.
Yeah.
And they go crazy. They go crazy and they're not feeling good about themselves. Number two, I tell guys, the better you feel about yourself, the less you get to rage.
Okay.
I'm raging, Charles. I don't feel I'm down here. This starts to come up. This starts to come down.
Yeah.
It's a relationship.
Okay. So the more you the better you feel about yourself, the rage starts to decrease. Okay. Yeah. So before we get there to that point.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
What causes it to increase? What causes the rage to just, we know we like the high, but what just ratchets it up?
Yeah, I think years of feeling powerless, maybe going through a divorce or not feeling like you're enough.
Okay.
And so you marry somebody hoping she's gonna make you feel like you're enough. That's not gonna work. There's all these disappointments, Charles. That's why you see a lot of these dudes hit their 20s and none of this stuff's worked. I went to school, I did this, all this stuff. It's like taping a sandwich to your arm and wondering why you're still hungry.
Got it.
It's the rage. It's not working. Because if I get the right clothes, or the right girl, or the right money, I'll feel better. It doesn't work.
Yeah. So one of the things that I feel like I'm seeing, and I could be wrong, and when it comes to rage, is beyond looking at the outward violence, the outward physical violence that we men engage in and rageaholics engage in, right? Is also the verbal violence or the ideological violence. So to give you examples, when somebody hears that a woman says she's been raped, right? And that man just goes off the handle on Facebook about it to discredit this individual, right? Is that a type of rage that's still coming out?
Correct. Absolutely, Charles. Rage comes out in so many different ways. Why do so many men have strokes in their 40s and 50s?
Oof. Is it rage? Is it?
You bet it is. You can't have that much adrenaline, Charles. It rips the heart muscle apart. I mean, literally, that's our cardiologist. He goes, it just explodes it. You get 20 years of that just pumping through, Charles, it blows your heart muscle up.
Right. I mean, it's the same as somebody being on coke.
Right. Exactly. In fact, it's worse because it's organic.
Yeah.
It's not leaving your body.
It's not leaving the body.
No, you keep manufacturing it.
Okay.
And Charles, the guy that rages on Facebook or Instagram about a girl being a victim, that's not the solution. That just tells me how scared he is.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's between the line. And Charles, I have no problem getting angry, but when it becomes destructive to yourself and others, we cross the line.
We cross the line.
We cross the line. And I get guys that call me a pansy. You're a pansy. I'm like, well, that's not true. Don't lose your cool.
Right.
Keep your cool.
Yeah.
And when you're losing your cool, going off on a woman or like a blind audience, Charles, that's out of control.
Right. And we see that a lot. We see that happen a lot. You know?
And I always say to guys, hey, come on, you're good. I get guys in my office that want to punch their wife. Happened this week. I'm like, dude, come on, you're good. We're on your team. Yeah. Man. I talked him down. I'm like, come on, we're on this together. Right. No one's against you. It comes out that something happened with him and his dad when he was young. It was really bad. Yeah. And that's where the rage was coming from. Bingo. He didn't see the connection. He didn't see A plus B equals C. Charles, when you talk about rage, that's why I wrote this book. Right. Straight up. Right. After that, the guys 20 years ago when the Colorado shooting, Columbine, it made me crazy. Like these boys were raging and we all ignored it. That's true. I'm not buying. Listen, rage long enough, you're mentally ill. Charles, if you and I are crazy all the time, we're out there. Right. And those boys in Columbine, no one looked in their bedrooms. No one read what was on their walls. They just didn't want to look at it. They didn't want to look at it.
Right. And that goes back to what you said earlier about the families, allowing this one person to carry, yes,
all
to carry it all.
Carry it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Charles, yeah, keep going.
So
it's heavy.
Yeah. So now, because we have limited time. So
yeah.
now I want to ask you, right? We'll have to come back to this, this idea
absolutely.
about the rageaholic and shame. And before I get to the other question, and we say rageaholic and shame, what is it about shame that can encourage this type of rageaholic behavior, this activity, this mindset?
Charles, it's like the feeling that you feel like a piece of shit. And so you try to usurp it and jump that wall.
Yeah, you overcompensate, huh?
Right. You overcompensate with rage. And it lasts for a few minutes.
Okay.
That's part of the problem. It does work. But it's a problem. It creates another problem. Because everybody around you is like, what was that about?
Wow. Yeah.
Because you feel that shame is the insidious, Charles, that says you're not enough. And that's, I've never met a rageaholic who didn't have that issue.
Right. And deep down inside, they just didn't feel good about who they were.
And are, present day.
And present day. That's right.
Charles, you don't buy an assault rifle because you feel good about yourself. Okay. I'm sorry, man. I know. I'm sorry. I'm not talking to hunting. I'm talking about an assault rifle. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, man.
Man. You know some people are gonna be upset about that.
Let's start the discussion, man. I'm not anti-guns, but I'm anti-rage.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
right
there
on.
You go.
Come on.
I mean, AR does not this should actually mean anti-rage, but that's not what it's meaning today. It's meaning
automatic rage.
So automatic rage, AR automatic rage.
Oh man, Charles, we are stirring the pot.
Yeah, right. But let me ask you this. So we see this addiction, we see this high, okay?
Yes.
And as you know, you like to see people experience sobriety. However, you want to get them to the point where they can handle that sobriety, right? And if you got this rageaholic up here and in love with that feeling that he feels, how do you get him down here where he's okay?
Charles, what you just said, I call that emotional sobriety. That's the 30-year program.
Whew. Okay.
That's what Bill Wilson was talking about.
Got you.
That's the 30 to 40-year program. Because realizing the damage you do to yourself, that for many men, it's too much. Right.
And just so you guys know, he's talking about Bill Wilson and Dr. Bob. These are the founders of Alcoholics Anonymous, and as a spinoff, every other Addiction Anonymous program that's out there. So always credit to those guys. So you're saying that you actually have to approach rage the same way an alcoholic would have to approach Alcoholic Anonymous and the work that needs to be done there.
I've had some men say to me that quitting drinking was hard, smoking was hard.
Yeah.
Rage was next to impossible.
Is that right?
Because the neural stuff that goes with that, Charles, that's when you start to bring it down. It's so hard when you start looking at the collateral damage, that stops the rage.
I see.
When you look at your kids, or your wife, your coworkers, your family, your friends, it starts to bring it down.
Yeah.
And I also talk about, how to, when you start feeling yourself warming up, realizing that you don't have to reenact, as John Bradshaw said, that childhood trauma.
Right.
And start seeing, they call it pre-instant indicators. Indicators like I'm tired, I'm hungry, I worked all day.
Okay, got it. So in addictions, we
Mm-hmm.
use things like halt, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. If you feel any of those things, don't try to engage someone in heavy discussions, or don't try to get a lot of work done. And so answer those first primary calls, those feelings that you have, and then do the other stuff. Right. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And the other thing with rage, Charles, is the shame. I feel like it's such a bad person that I just blew up.
Okay.
And I'm saying, okay, own it.
Yeah.
Because you want to stay away from it.
Yeah. Right.
I had a guy a couple Fridays ago. I'm walking the dogs at night, and I got a flashlight because I'm like Mr. Magoo, and he jumps out of his car. He goes, "What's up?" I go, "Wait, what? Like, what? I'm sorry, I'm walking my beagles. I didn't even see you." And I go, I really apologize. I go, "What's your first name?" And he goes, "Adam." And I go, "It's okay, man." He goes, "I'm having a bad day," and we ended up having a good talk.
Yeah.
But he was up here.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's the rage. I get, oh man, it just came out of him.
Yeah. That is something.
This guy's probably 20. He's been I hate the word, hate when people disrespect me. The guy disrespected me. I'm like, no, stop it.
Yeah. We hear that a lot. We hear that so much. Yeah.
It's universal. I go, no. That's about you not feeling good about yourself.
Right. Yeah.
That's all you just told me.
There are so many people I hear, Dr. Poulter, who say stuff like, "Oh, she disrespected me," or "They disrespected me," or "You disrespected me," and I'm going, "Whoa!" They don't even realize that that's an ego-based description,
correct?
A descriptor.
Yeah.
Right. They don't realize disrespected what? They didn't disrespect your soul. What did they disrespect?
you didn't get what you needed, maybe.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Charles, male rage. I tell therapists, you want to help change America? Just talk to these guys.
Right.
As men.
Right.
As dads.
Talk to them as
Just talk to them, man. Absolutely. I've never met a teenager who's raging who you can't talk down eventually.
Yeah.
Then you hear the story. Awesome. Then you hear what's behind. Come on.
Okay. Hey, you know what, Doc, thank you so much for that information. And we will continue to talk about some of John Bradshaw's points regarding these addictive behaviors, especially those that we know we are dealing with. We may not name them all the time, and we may not be honest about them, but it's some stuff that we got. And one of the reasons why I love John Bradshaw is because, he's a guy, he had his own experiences. And I mean, how can you refute it? But
he was honest too.
He was very honest.
He didn't candy coat it. No.
If you guys are familiar with Brene Brown, know that people like Brene Brown were students of John Bradshaw. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of correlation there and great stuff that's coming out. So a lot of great connections there. So you guys, again, you've been listening to Dr. Steve Poulter, the author of The Shame Factor, Heal Your Deepest Fears and Set Yourself Free. You can purchase Dr. Poulter's book on Amazon. You can find the link right here in the show notes. Okay, just click it. We know that a lot of you guys have Amazon on your phones already. You got your card already set up. Just hit buy now, boom, get it sent right to you. Okay. And again, guys, we know that a lot of people are still dealing with the pandemic. Folks are getting vaccinated. Some people are not. The weekend is coming up. We want you to do everything that you can for yourselves and your family to remain healthy, to get to a place of wholeness in your lives. So share this podcast with other individuals. Let them know that we're out here. And in addition to that, guys, if you would like to contribute, yes, we do take money. Okay. Can't even lie about it.
Charles,
we take money.
We need to. Okay. We need to take money.
We need to take money. Okay?
Come on now.
You can go right into the app or on our website at www.anchor.fm/the Barbershop Group. Hit the support button to add your monthly monetary contribution today. You can also reach out to us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook if you want to ask us a question, or if you have a particular topic that you're interested in, shoot it to us. And even if you may know of a guest that you think would be great on the show, let us know about it. Okay.
Amen.
So yeah, absolutely. We appreciate the love, guys.
Hey, Charles, last sentence. Rage can be cured.
It can be cured. Yes.
Charles, it's not a death sentence.
Right.
Absolutely. Don't buy into it. That's a myth.
Don't buy into it.
Don't buy into it. That's John Bradshaw. Don't buy into it. No way.
That's right. Sorry. So guys, we'll also put John Bradshaw's work in the show notes as well for you. If you want to check that one out, you can do so. So until next time, guys, love you more, love your people more, be well. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.